The American Society of Landscape Architects is proud to elevate 33 members to the ASLA Council of Fellows. Fellowship is among the highest honors the ASLA can bestow. Members are nominated and selected by their peers for their extraordinary contribution to the profession and society at large in one of 4 categories: works of landscape architecture, leadership and management, knowledge, and service. The ASLA Council of Fellows Investiture Dinner is sponsored by L.M. Schofield. Presenting the 2012 Council of Fellows. Gerdo P. Aquino, ASLA, SWA, Los Angeles. Gerdo Aquino was nominated by the Southern California chapter in the Works category. In addition to his many design achievements in revitalizing wetlands and vacant urban spaces, Gerdo is an accomplished lecturer, professor, and author. He established the SWA Los Angeles office in 2005 and has since expanded the practice into Asia. His involvement in the firm's projects begins at their inception and continues through the final completion. Gerdo's long list of national and regional awards is a testament to his close stewardship. He also strives to elevate the social well-being and health of communities through landscapes that conserve and filter water to maintain ecological balance. Julia M. Badenhope, ASLA, Iowa State University, Ames, Iowa. Julia Badenhope was nominated by the Iowa chapter in the Knowledge category. As an associate professor and director of Iowa's Living Roadways Community Visioning Program, Julia integrates teaching, research, and outreach in the statewide Community Design Assistance Plan. Both the American Planning Association and Federal Highways Administration have recognized her efforts. She's also been able to bring both funds and design talent to the state's smaller, often underserved communities. Julia integrates polydisciplinary collaboration and inspires grassroots design, all while she expertly publishes, mentors, and advises. David Berkson, ASLA, SWA Group, Laguna Beach, California. David Berkson was nominated by the Southern California chapter in the Works category. He designs places that have meaning as well as function and contain strong, accessible experience. David's work demonstrates that the quality of our surroundings directly influences the quality of our lives. His focus on the interplay of contextual forces is like that of a weaver of fine tapestry. He is an intellectual, a consummate collaborator, and master multidisciplinary team weaver. David has a passion for making special places in the public realm. His decade-long effort to replenish Beverly Hills trees was just one of the many legacies he's bestowed on Southern California. Christopher Brown, ASLA, Smith Group, JJR, Phoenix. Christopher Brown was nominated by the Arizona chapter in the Works category. His portfolio shows his love and respect for nature, native materials, and vernacular design. In the mid-1980s, he established the Native Plant Protection Ordinance and Hillside Overlay Method to protect the areas around Scottsdale and Phoenix from rampant development. Those guidelines are still in use today. As a writer, lecturer, and educator, Christopher freely shares his knowledge through compelling interpretation and education. His credo, once the fieldwork is done, is, "If nobody knows you did anything, then you did a good job." Richard C. Burke, Jr., ASLA, Richard Burke Associates, Somerville, Massachusetts. Richard Burke was nominated by the Boston Society of Landscape Architects in the Works category. He has long stood apart. In 1981, he was awarded the Rome Prize in Landscape Architecture and named a finalist in the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Competition. To this day, he continues his pursuit of strong formal, social, and sustainable contributions. Richard's design brings public attention to the abilities of landscape architects to shape the civic environment. In Boston, he organized a symposium that initiated the city's street planting plan. In addition, Richard was pivotal in driving forward the Innovation District, located on the South Boston waterfront. Samuel R. Copeland, ASLA, Copeland Associates Incorporated, Bar Harbor, Maine. Samuel Copeland was nominated by the Boston Society of Landscape Architects in the Works category. His community plans and contributions to land protection have lent considerable visibility to landscape architecture in his region. Resulting media coverage has popularized local ordinances that foster cluster development, affordable housing, and resource protection. Samuel's reinvigoration and reinterpretation of the Gilded Age tradition of coastal Maine has influenced large-scale affordable land conservation nationally. He has the range to craft intimate residential landscapes, as well as public, institutional, and historically significant projects. His ability to transform prosaic landforms into extraordinary landscape designs has made his firm essential in the eyes of clients nationwide. Barbara L. Deitch, ASLA, Landscape Architecture Foundation, Washington, D.C. Barbara Deitch was nominated by the Potomac chapter in the Leadership Management category. She's brought considerable credibility to the value of landscape architecture through easily grasped and valid measurements of landscape performance. Barbara showcases the value of the profession to hundreds of students, allied professionals, nonprofit organizations, and the general public. Through the online landscape performance series and case study investigation research collaboration, she's championed collaborative sustainability. With a strong business background, she's also put the Landscape Architecture Foundation in a financial position to carry out its vital efforts. Colin L. Franklin, ASLA, Andropogan Associates Limited, Philadelphia. Colin Franklin was nominated by the Pennsylvania-Delaware chapter in the Works category. Often working with local, readily available, and inexpensive materials, he blends and transforms landscapes into poetic places that serve people superbly. Throughout his career, Colin has led the way in creating synergy among science, engineering, and design. His lifelong commitment is to preserve and revitalize the unique cultural and natural resources of each place and reinforce the best in new development. He was an early proponent of biodiversity and natural stormwater drainage and warned of the dangers of global warming. In addition, Colin has worked around the world solving complex real estate issues at very large scales. Donald S. Ganji, ASLA, St. Paul Parks and Recreation, St. Paul, Minnesota. Donald Ganji was nominated by the Minnesota chapter in the Works category. With his eye for the smallest detail and mastery of vast public open spaces, he has the ability to make places where people feel welcomed, comforted, and encouraged to interact. He also infuses his colleagues with a passion for the highest levels of design excellence. He's devoted his career to the public sector. St. Paul's residents cherish their parks, rivers, and open spaces, and Donald fosters their devotion at every opportunity. He continues to dedicate himself to the improvement of the entire region, from one-block Mears Park to the 3,500-acre Mississippi National River and Recreation Area. Cynthia L. Girling, ASLA, University of British Columbia, Vancouver, British Columbia. Cynthia Girling was nominated by the Oregon chapter in the Knowledge category. The influence of her work extends across the Canadian-U.S. Cascadia region, which is regarded as one of the continent's premier proving grounds for green urbanism. Since refining the guiding principles and mission, Cynthia's expertise is sought by researchers, educators, and writers who themselves are the vanguard of sustainable design innovation. Her body of work, including lectures, technical papers, 2 books, and an extensive list of master's degree recipients, promises to extend her vision for shaping sustainable communities well into the future. Ray Green, ASLA, University of Melbourne, Melbourne, Australia. Ray Green was nominated by the ASLA Council of Fellows Executive Committee in the Knowledge category. He's widely noted for his substantial landscape architecture research, teaching, and practice. His most noteworthy achievements stem from his fresh insights and ability to share them through international publications, speaking engagements, and his work across a range of professional communities. Ray's research has revealed how various communities react to rapid environmental transformation from tourism and population shifts. This information is especially critical with fragile coastlines, wetlands, and mountains. He also studies the benefits of ecotourism as an increasingly urban population connects more often with nature. Robin Lee George Falvey, ASLA, U.S. Forest Service, Deschutes National Forest, Oregon. Robin George Falvey was nominated by the Oregon chapter in the Leadership Management category. Her innovative policy for communities adjacent to federal properties has set the standard for conservation education, interpretation, and accessibility. These include scenic byways and rivers, national monuments, wilderness, and conservation areas. As a major attraction in the Pacific Northwest, the Cascade Lakes National Scenic Byway introduces a land conservation ethic that is now embraced by the surrounding communities. Robin's planning efforts have also brought $3 million in grants to Central Oregon to continue Forest Service efforts. Ongoing projects include new welcome station facilities, historic guard station restoration, interpretive signs, and outdoor classrooms that encourage respectful recreation on public lands. James M. Hyde, Jr., ASLA, Urban Green Incorporated, San Francisco. James Hyde was nominated by the Northern California chapter in the Leadership Management category. His design and business experience has taught him that landscape architects are positioned to play a strong role as team integrators, making them essential for growing interdisciplinary design projects. This is a lesson that he communicates to design professionals and real estate developers alike. By learning the language and mechanics of real estate economics, he's increased his ability to influence decision-makers and explore new opportunities for landscape architects. He established his firm, Urban Green, to serve as a sustainable development advisor and provide complex team management to projects around the world. Ron Henderson, ASLA, Pennsylvania State University, University Park, Pennsylvania. Ron Henderson was nominated by the Rhode Island chapter in the Knowledge category. When he entered Tsinghua University, he became the first full-time, non-Chinese landscape architecture faculty member in China. His prolific writings include a long-term research focus on routine maintenance in both China and Japan, where Ron holds a research fellowship on the critical topic. This work has helped to establish academic ties between Asian and American professionals and students. He's introduced Chinese contemporary landscape projects and designers internationally as well. An outstanding teacher, he continues his professional leadership as the head of the Penn State Department of Landscape Architecture. Jennifer Jones, ASLA, Carol R. Johnson Associates, Incorporated, Boston. Jennifer Jones was nominated by the Boston Society of Landscape Architects in the Service category. Her extensive accomplishments through volunteer activities and professional practice have significantly advanced the public's appreciation of how landscape architects enhance the greater good of communities everywhere. One example was early in 2012 when Jennifer joined a team of volunteers in Haiti. Her contributions stabilized the steep slope of a site for a locally operated clinic. She's also been to Rwanda, where her plans included demonstration gardens. She's a frequent volunteer and lecturer worldwide, as well as in her own hometown, Boston. She further engages the public through her landscape architecture practice. Keith LeBlanc, ASLA, Keith LeBlanc Landscape Architecture, Boston. Keith LeBlanc was nominated by the Boston Society of Landscape Architects in the Works category. His understanding of materials, context, and clarity of spatial composition is apparent in each of his projects. His exquisite and influential residential landscapes are at once wholly contemporary and profoundly familiar. His works are rich in the complexity of place, the result of fine-tuning his craft for years. With projects throughout the United States, Keith has a sensitive touch with difficult sites. He works with a high level of detail and finesse. His nuanced use of plants imbues his spaces with rhythm, mystery, and dynamic contrast. He focuses on the needs of clients with a rigorous process that combines livability with striking elegance. Rodney P. Mercer, ASLA, URS Group, Washington, D.C. Rodney Mercer was nominated by the Potomac chapter in the Leadership Management category. His support for the profession includes significant participation in both national and chapter programs. His longtime contributions as National Staff Landscape Architect, in addition to his chapter leadership, are particularly noteworthy. Rodney also led the multidisciplinary consultant team that prepared the Memorials and Museums Master Plan for the National Capital Planning Commission. His efforts ensured that future memorial sites will complement the L'Enfant, Macmillan, and Legacy plans for Washington. He was Potomac Chapter President in 1990, and his years in service have helped advance the profession to its elevated stature today. Mary Myers, ASLA, Temple University, Philadelphia. Mary Myers was nominated by the Pennsylvania-Delaware chapter in the Knowledge category. Her teaching, contributions to scholarly research, and forward-looking leadership have significantly enriched landscape architecture professional knowledge. In research and publications, she's advanced the field in parkway design, human perception of landscapes, and sustainability. Her comprehensive focus is on applied research, particularly in the linkage of aesthetic and scientific theory. In 2011, Mary became one of 10 Landscape Architecture Foundation Research Fellows selected to study landscape performance. Her data resulted in specific and defensible findings, maintaining her focus on validity and usefulness. Forster O. Ndubisi, ASLA, Texas A&M University, College Station, Texas. Forster Ndubisi was nominated by the Texas chapter in the Knowledge category. As a scholar, educator, academic practitioner, and distinguished administrator, he's been influential in advancing the art, science, and craft of ecological design and planning. Forster's 2002 landmark book, Ecological Planning, explored the interconnecting threads in the cross-disciplinary body of knowledge on sustainability. His chief areas of interest have been the systematic examination of history, theory, and ecological design and planning, the role that human experience and values play in community design, and regionalism as an intervention approach to rapid metropolitan expansion. Christine G. Patillo, ASLA, PGA Design, Oakland, California. Chris Patillo was nominated by the Northern California chapter in the service category. Most recently, her vision and advocacy have led to her creative and administrative leadership in the ASLA Historic American Landscapes Survey, HALS. Her drive and organizational skills have moved HALS to the forefront of landscape preservation in California and the United States at large. Her creative and focused efforts to build the network and increase awareness of the importance of cultural landscapes and high-quality HALS documentation have moved the resource to an international level of high regard. Practicing what she professes, Chris's firm, PGA Design, has completed the single largest HALS set in the United States, San Francisco's Doyle Drive, which traverses the Presidio. Dean J.R. Pearson, ASLA, the Architera Group, Incorporated, Littleton, Colorado. Dean Pearson was nominated by the Colorado chapter in the service category. He's a leader, mentor, and community servant who encourages others in his firm to follow in his footsteps. He finishes every task not with the idea that his service is complete, but that he's ready for other goals. While president of the Colorado chapter, the organization was recognized with the ASLA President's Cup. In addition to serving on the State Board of Landscape Architects, Dean led the effort for an upgraded CLARB examination and was instrumental in the Colorado practice law. He was also able to put aside his grief as he collaborated on the Columbine Memorial. From the local level to the state and beyond, he leads by example. Robert N. Pine, ASLA, Pine and Swallow Environmental, Groton, Massachusetts. Robert Pine was nominated by the Boston Society of Landscape Architects in the Knowledge category. As a scientist, engineer, and landscape architect, he is a creative and open-minded problem solver of international significance. He's developed breakthrough quality control procedures to ensure blending, installation, and maintenance of effective landscape soils, drainage, and planting. Through his deep understanding of and interest in modern soil, horticultural and hydrologic design, Robert has expanded the body of knowledge in regional ecosystems analysis. He uses this understanding to great effect in educating others on the development of comprehensive ecological plans and protection of major tracts of environmentally vital land. Mark A. Robertson, ASLA, Mesa Landscape Architects Incorporated, Little Rock, Arkansas. Mark Robertson was nominated by the Arkansas chapter in the Leadership Management category. Through his public service and organizational works here and abroad, he presents landscape architecture as a profession vital to public well-being. His ability to build consensus among diverse disciplines on complex issues has led to leadership positions in each of the organizations with which he has served. Mark shows little regard for the long hours involved as he's bettered the life and livability of his community, his region, and beyond. His guidance as an adjunct professor, professional advisory board member, cooperative extension leader, and much more has ensured a better today for us and a better future for our children. Stephen N. Rohde, ASLA, University of Nebraska-Lincoln, Lincoln, Nebraska. Stephen Rohde was nominated by the Great Plains chapter in the Knowledge category. Through the mutual respect he engenders among landscape architects, engineers, arborists, landscape managers, the public, politicians, and students, Stephen reveals the significant benefits of community landscape design and sustainability. His support of professional licensure in Nebraska includes a 5-year appointment to the State Board of Landscape Architects. His expertise in sustainable design and stormwater management is sought by community leaders and planning professionals across the Midwest. He's always eager to contribute his talents and insight to the advancement of landscape architecture and its core principles. Cynthia W. Smith, ASLA, Halverson Design Partnership Incorporated, Boston. Cynthia Smith was nominated by the Boston Society of Landscape Architects in the Works category. As a creator of exemplary urban and academic settings, she's widely admired for her commitment to productive collaboration with allied design professionals, artists, and community groups. She's a talented mentor whose experience and hard work helped build her firm into an influential New England-based practice. Cynthia's redesign of the MIT Sloan School campus illustrates her mastery of inside-outside relationships that create a strong sense of place. She's well recognized in the Boston and Cambridge region for her waterfronts, overdeck landscapes, campuses, multimodal plans, and art collaborations. Ken Smith, ASLA, Workshop, Ken Smith Landscape Architect, New York City. Ken Smith was nominated by the New York chapter in the Works category. He's equally at home in the worlds of art, architecture, and urbanism, designing compelling landscape experiences through formal inventiveness and conceptual boldness. He has lectured extensively on the importance of establishing continuums of scale from waterfronts to backyards. He argues for both increased conceptual clarity in contemporary landscape architecture and more refined attention to the details of craft. Ken says there should be no nebulous middle, and instead of the top-down design approach so commonly taught in schools, it's often the bottom-up inductive approach that produces the most salient ideas. L. Wesley Stout, ASLA, Wesley Stout Associates, LLC, New Canaan, Connecticut. Wesley Stout was nominated by the Connecticut chapter in the Works category. He's amassed an extensive portfolio of award-winning projects committed to urban richness. He combines social connectivity, harmonious waterfront corridors, environmental responsibility, and aesthetics to draw in and engage pedestrians. Perhaps key among his successful urban transformations is Stamford, Connecticut's International Financial Center. The site includes the Royal Bank of Scotland headquarters, the largest project in the state to attain LEED Gold. Wesley has also worked to extend the city's greenway and connect it to its waterfront. Within his firm, he shares his time and experience generously as a mentor and champion of both licensure and involvement in the ASLA. Frederick E. Stressaw, ASLA, Stressaw, Smith & Stressaw, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Frederick Stressaw was nominated by the Florida chapter in the service category. His work is an outstanding model for all landscape architects who support the ASLA goal to raise public awareness of the profession. In 1971, he received his first mayoral appointment as a member of the Fort Lauderdale Planning and Zoning Board. Frederick has contributed 40 years of pro bono service to his city, and in 2009, he was selected as the city's most distinguished citizen of the year. He's mentored dozens of future landscape architects to follow in his footsteps of generous public service in order to maintain the beauty of their Atlantic Coast, South Florida communities. Henry M. White III, ASLA, H.M. White Site Architects, New York City. Henry White was nominated by the New York chapter in the Works category. His designs, often in collaboration with the world's most distinguished architects and urban planners, are widely published. They are well-made, well-used, and praised by clients, professionals, and design critics alike. Henry emerged as a force during a time when New York City was determined to redevelop its waterfront, streetscapes, parks, and other open spaces. He became an influential voice in that historic transformation. He's also served his region on many influential boards and has shared his knowledge, innovation, and tenacity in cityscapes around the globe. His work has shaped the current direction of landscape architecture. James J. Wolterman, ASLA, SWT Design Incorporated, St. Louis. Jim Wolterman was nominated by the St. Louis chapter in the Leadership Management category. As co-founder of SWT Design, he's cultivated a firm that leads the profession in sustainability and high design. The firm's 3-star CITES rating for the Novus International Global Headquarters makes the project the highest-rated landscape design in the world. With his knowledge and dedication, plus his entrepreneurial spirit, Jim is endowed with the rare ability to always see the big picture. His commitment to organic resource management and rain garden and green roof innovations is emulated across the nation, and his devotion to the community at large has leveraged the profession's reputation as vital to the well-being of people everywhere. Dana Ann Yee, ASLA, Dana Ann Yee, Landscape Architect, LLC, Honolulu. Dana Ann Yee was nominated by the Hawaii chapter in the service category. She's among the exceptional landscape architects and related professionals who are able to sustain a high level of community commitment over an entire career. She's led over 20 nonprofit projects in her 26 years in the landscape architecture profession. One of her specialties is the design of school and community play areas for economically disadvantaged children. Dana remains steadfast in her belief that natural settings develop healthy, engaged minds, especially in young children. She's also focused on preserving the delicate ecosystem of Hawaii, which she advocates to the state Senate. Her selfless spirit reflects well on the entire profession. Kangjian Yu, ASLA, Peking University College of Architecture and Landscape Architecture, Beijing, China. Kangjian Yu was nominated by the ASLA Council of Fellows Executive Committee in the Works category. His range of exceptional projects has demonstrated his intellectual influence as a landscape architect in China, even in the midst of its hyper-growth. As a professor, Kangjian started from scratch, going on to establish landscape architecture as a recognized discipline at Peking University. His practice, Tourandscape, also embodies his design philosophy of a harmonious living world that embraces nature, people, and spirits. The firm is itself a school that links theory with execution and provides financial support for research and education at the university. Lawrence R. Zucchino, ASLA, J. Davis Architects, PLLC, Raleigh, North Carolina. Lawrence Zucchino was nominated by the North Carolina chapter in the service category. A staunch advocate of sustainable design in landscape architecture and urban design, he's a pioneer in the development and application of environmental policy in North Carolina. He manages policy debate through his informed focus on science, practicality, and economics, effectively avoiding partisan posturing. Other people, in turn, base their perception of Lawrence and his profession primarily on achievement. He leads by action and has the ability to reach consensus even among contentious interest groups, as demonstrated by his 2 influential gubernatorial appointments to statewide policy boards.